Hi everyone, my name's Kitty Pup, and I'm coming to you live from the old internet. Which you may be thinking, what do you mean, old internet? Didn't that die at the turn of the century? But actually, the truth is a bit more complicated. Around Y2K, rather than all the computers breaking, as people thought they would, people start getting absorbed into computers, breaking in a different way. And while the situation was quickly hotfixed, tech companies didn't exactly want to take accountability for the situation, and so they decided to basically replace us, make a new internet, and cover us up and isolate us from the rest of you guys. That's enough of that. Let's get on to the real topic of today, and that is the delicacies of the old internet. Which you may be thinking, do you eat food? And yeah, it's not strictly necessary, but it can be still nice to eat food. And so one of my favorite ways to make food and just foods in general is the classic spaghetti. And for my particular version of spaghetti, it's a little unorthodox given the whole codization thing. Okay, so let's get to coding our code spaghetti. So first, as you always do, you got to create a main function. And then inside of it, we will access the spaghetti class and create new spaghetti. And then we will also create a noodles class, new noodles, in addition to a sauce class called sauce. And of course, gotta have meatballs, so we will name a class meatballs, new meatball. And then finally, you also will need an oven to make this code spaghetti. And just to keep track of things, we're going to need a float timer and an int temperature. Then in order to start, we're going to have to create a while loop where as long as the timer is less than 300, we will check is the temperature less than 400, less than or equal to 400 actually. And if that is the case, we will increment temperature by 10. And then additionally, we'll have an additional check to see is the temperature over 50. If so, then we will add our noodles to the oven. And then do a similar test where if temperature is greater than 100, we will add both to the oven, both a meatball and then a sauce. The order is important. We want to make sure the sauce gets on the meatball. And then to make sure the loop is not continuous, we increment the timer by 1. And once we exit this loop, we are assuming that the person has created and finished making their dish. So we remove each thing one at a time and then add it to the spaghetti class. And do the same for meatballs and sauce. And as you always have to do with your main functions, you return 0. And then once we run it, spaghetti! Yippee! And so that is pretty much it. And if you liked this tutorial, I would recommend liking and giving a subscribe. And There will be more content from Kitty Pup on here where we will be communicating and revealing the truths and nature of our life on the old internet. And we encourage you to watch along and maybe learn a thing or two, and maybe you'll see that there's an alternative to this grok filled hellscape you find yourself in. Goodbye.